Hello and welcome to the On the Knob pod. I'm your host, Will Rooney, and today I'm joined by regular tipster Henry Gibbs, and we have the returning Ante Kelley after his couple of weeks absence. Ant, how are you feeling after your ailment?
Fantastic. Now it's nice to be off the treatment table. I'm back at it with you lads.
And you're coming back to a big one, aren't you? It's an early look at the Cheltenham Festival. I don't know what some people are saying. Oh, bloody hell, it's only December. Why are they previewing Cheltenham already? There's plenty of races still to go. But we've seen all the big horses out now. So what we're going to be doing is looking at the main four races, the champion races of the festival. Starting with the Tuesday, which is the champion hurdle, 2 mile affair won by Epatons last year. Henry, and no surprise after their fighting fifth win. She's favourite this year, for next year, beg your pardon. Epatons 7-4 at the minute. Sam Roy 8-1. Abracadabras 9-1. Goshen 10-1. Honeysuckle 16-1. And it's 20-1 bar. Henry, at this early stage, what would you be looking to back?
Yeah, well, it's like you said, Epatons is a worthy market leader, isn't she? She was mightily impressive in the fight in fifth, and she is going to be the defending champion. From an anti-post perspective, you can't really be touching it at the price she is now. Like you said, 7-4. I wouldn't be surprised if you get similar on the day. She's going to go Christmas hurdle, likely to win that easily, but I'm sure there's going to be one or two, maybe in Ireland, that come out and throw their name amongst the market principal. So I wouldn't be advising back on Epatente now, but I think if you can get around the same price on the day, that'll be where my money goes. Just looking at the betting, you've got obviously Sam Roy, who I think will turn the form around with Abracadabras on the next start over Christmas. You've got Goshen, who I obviously don't rate highly. Honeysuckle, I'll touch on it in a second. Aspire Tower, not good enough. Constantista, likely to go with the mares. And you've got Bouvier, too old. Sharjah, I think he's had his chance. And then you're looking at 20-1, the likes of Benny DeJew, which, again, she's definitely not going to line up here. So in terms of an anti-post perspective, the two I like is the one I mentioned earlier, Honeysuckle, just because although it's a pretty good chance that she may well go the mares, but when Henry de Bromhead got interviewed on Sunday last week after she won the Hatton's Grace, he certainly didn't play the champion hurdle down. He said you only get one chance doing a champion hurdle type thing, and they've won a mares already, he said. So I just get the impression that if she does go and win the Irish champion, as taken as she did last year, I think they will have a go at the champion hurdle. And we can guarantee you're not going to be getting 16-1 if she does line up, because she will have won the Irish champion hurdle to be considered for the big one in March. So you're looking at she'll probably go off second favourite, and 16-1, it's probably worth an each way bet, isn't she? Because it's worth the risk at that price. If she was 9-2, 5-1, you wouldn't bother, but you're getting serious value because, like I said, she will not be that price if she turns up. We know she's got the class. She stays further, which is always crucial in a champion hurdle. You need a good stay at the trip because they are going to go at a decent pace. The ground, they do like to water Cheltenham on the Monday to have it safe ground on a Tuesday. So hopefully she'll get a little bit of soft ground as well, which may influence the decision on where she goes. The other one I'll touch on is Saldier, Willie Mullins' horse, 25-1. Now, obviously, it's probably at best 50-50 that Saldier lines up here because he's very injury prone, but when he does make the track, he's so impressive. He's got a fantastic turn of foot, powerful connections, and I just think, again, at 25-1, you've got the likes of Jason the Militant, 20-1, who's just never going to win a champion hurdle, and you're getting 25-1 for Saldier, where that's what I look for in terms of an anti-post punch. All right, you're taking a chance whether it gets there, but you know if it does get there with Honeysuckle and Saldier, they're going to be single-figure odds if they make it, and they're the two I'd be happy to chance at this moment in time.
Very compelling case for both there, Henry, and I think you might be onto something there. And I know that you normally look for a little bit of value yourself, so would you be picking out anything here that you think it's just a little bit overpriced at this stage.
Overpriced, yeah. Goshen, 10-1.
Oh no!
I knew you was going to say that. It all depends, doesn't it? On Saturday, if it turns up and wins the international hurdle, in a good fashion, it's going to shorten up. It'll shorten up to about 4s, 5s potentially to win the champion hurdle. So Goshen would be my play. Obviously, it's got to give Epatante weight. You'll get the mares around Epatante, and I don't think it'll be 5 next year. I don't think 5-year-olds have got a particularly great record in the champion hurdle, but I'm just so impressed with that. I know it fell at the last in the Triumph, but it was gonna win by a country mile. So I can't get away from that when thinking about this race. So it is Goshen for me. I've had a little bet on it of 10s before it inevitably shortens up after winning on Saturday. Other ones, it's a poor champion hurdle for me. This probably each way money. If I was going to try and steal some each way money, be a bit of an each way thief. It'll be Showed Oil again for me. 25s. That fighting 5th. It wasn't a great race to watch, was it? With all the drama at the start, Showed Oil wouldn't have wanted to lead at all. Daryl Jacob was getting hindered by Not So Sleepy. It was just obviously the loose horse just running free in front. I know obviously Epatante won on the bridle and comfortable, but I think the race could have panned out a bit different if the drama at the start didn't happen. So be willing to take a chance on Showed Oil for some each way money, and let's say Goshen doesn't turn up, as it has been strained a bit. It has been a bit weird, the 2 flat runs, hasn't it? So far this season, I don't get that myself. And then obviously it was entered about a month ago and got pulled out, didn't it? The day before. So if it doesn't turn up and there's a betting without Epatante market, which I assume there will be, because Epatante is going to go off evens if Goshen doesn't turn up for me. So yeah, Showed Oil would be my bet there. Just on Epatante.
Do you think she'll be bigger on the day?
No, I think she'll shorten. She won't be 7-4, will she?
I reckon she might be around the same price, because she's not going to do anything that's going to excite us further, really, is she? Unless, because I can't see anything top notch turning up in the Christmas hurdle, and then she's going to go straight there, where there might be a few others that can be a lot more impressive. And
yeah, but say Goshen flops on Saturday, Epatante is going to shorten, surely, because what's the next market rival? Saint Ra.
Yeah, it's going to be Saint. They're racing over Christmas, aren't they? The 2nd and 3rd Fab are having a rematch where Saint Roy and Abracadabras. So I think if one of them wins quite impressively, I think they'll obviously come in the betting, but I just think there's a chance that we're going to see the likes of Honeysuckle actually line up here, because it's such, like you said, they've only really got Epatante to beat. I know she's probably going to be a superstar, and like I said, if I'm getting anywhere near 7-4 on the day, I'll be placing a bet on her. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she goes off around 7-4 on the Tuesday anyway.
I think the hype around that fighting 5th win, it's good. It is hype, in my opinion. It's going to put a lot of trainers and owners off sending the horses to the champion hurdle. And with Saint Ra, will JP want to run it up against Epatante? He's going to have Bouvier in there probably as well, but will he want 3 in there?
I think just going off past the races, he hasn't been scared, has he? Like, he's ran, like Jeski ran against my 10 or yours, didn't. And that obviously won. I think if it was a different race, maybe, but it's Cheltenham and it's the champion hurdle. I think he'll want to fire as many darts as he can, and there's not really anywhere else for the likes of Bouvier to go, I don't think.
True. I think it's a waste though if you're going to run all 3 myself, and you could potentially pick something up elsewhere, or say one for 80 or punches down potentially. But like I say, yeah, for me, it's going to be Goshen, providing it wins on Saturday, and Showed Oil each way.
I mean, if you're going to back Goshen, you've got to get on it now, haven't you? Because, as you said, the price is going to contract if it wins on Saturday in the international. If it wins emphatically, then it's going to shorten by half.
It has to win that race because second favourite, Chitabello. I mean,
it has to win.
Come nowhere in a champion early. It has to win impressively. It can't just win by a length driven out. In my opinion, it has to go and win easy.
I know, Henry, you don't like Goshen, but the form hasn't worked out badly. I know we haven't seen Burning Victory went on to win the Triumph. Aspire Tower turned over, Abracadabra to Down Royal, and All Mankind's gone on to win a Grade 1 novice chase at Sandown at the weekend. So, but then you go to the horses after that, the likes of Sir Psycho, Solo, the Donald McCain one. It's a bit indifferent, really, isn't it, that Triumph form, would you say?
Yeah, with Aspire Tower was impressive, but you don't know how fit the opposition was that day. It done all it could to win, obviously, and you'd like to see Aspire Tower back that up. In terms of All Mankind, personally, I just think Chasing's been the making of him. He may well have needed his first run of the season over hurdles, but he was stuffed, wasn't he, by Baron Alco at Cheltenham on his seasonal debut, and then I think that's when he decided to obviously go Chasing. I think that's just been the making of All Mankind, to be honest. Obviously a good horse, and it's great for the form, but I just don't like the way Goshen's being trained at all. I don't understand this. Just because it's got a decent flat mark, if you've got a horse that's worthy of winning a champion hurdle, why not just train it like you would any other horse? There's no point trying to win a little average handicap just to land a punt. And it's obviously.
Do you reckon it's a bit of fear?
A bit of which, sorry?
A bit of fear from the Moors, not wanting to run it over hurdles, or
potentially, yeah, it could be. I don't know. I just. I can understand you. Although I like to wind you up in terms of saying it's overhyped now, which I do believe it is. I can't put you off backing it at 10-1 because that's more a respectable price. It was priced up at like 9-2, wasn't it, at the start of the season? Same price as obviously Epitant, and I just thought there's just no logic for that to go off the same price as Epitant. And now you're getting 7-4 for one. Obviously, I think she'll win, but I can't slag it off for putting Goshen up at 10-1 because it's a respectable price now. I think it should again be slightly higher, but it's like I said, 9-2 and now 10-1 without a hurdles run. It's more of a anti-post proposition, I suppose, because like you said, it should be winning that race on Saturday, regardless of what I think of it.
Okay, lads, I think that's the champion hurdle done. We'll go on to the champion chase, which is the feature on the Wednesday. And before we get onto that, obviously, we need to talk about Altior getting pulled out of the Tingle Creek on Saturday because it is a fairly significant talking point. Henry, obviously, Nicky Henderson said that the ground was too soft for Altior, but then you see times coming out and the measuring sticks saying that it wasn't as soft as Nicky Henderson made out it was. What did you make of it? Is it Henderson's prerogative to pull Altior out, or is he showing a little bit of disrespect to what is the second best 2-mile race of the season?
Yeah, to be honest, I think it's a bit of a shambles, the whole situation. I think we knew the ground was going to be on the soft side on Saturday. I don't know why it took. Firstly, it took them till Friday night to make an announcement after obviously declaring it the day before. There was no inclination that it might get pulled out, nothing like that. And then all of a sudden, the ground's too soft. And yeah, I can understand. Even, to be fair, like you said, the times didn't reflect. Look, it was more like good to soft, maybe a little bit slower. But the thing that annoys me is, I don't know if you've seen the interview with Lydia Hislop. Henderson was going on a lot about like the welfare of the horses, and he wants to protect the horse. If it's not good enough on soft ground, then he won't run it. But a lot of his other horses that he ran on Saturday won't have liked soft ground, and he didn't pull any of them out. It was only Altior. I know that's going to be like the stable star and that, but he didn't say that in his interview. His argument was he wanted to protect the horse because his job is to protect horses and the welfare, etc. So if he's going to make an argument saying that the ground, he wants to protect his horses from a welfare perspective, he can't be running the likes of like he had a couple of 1-6 shots turned over that you just knew they were going to hate the ground. Even Mike Bite, he's running that over the national fences on what was pretty soft ground at Aintree, and there's no way Mike Bite's going to enjoy that. Where's the welfare with Mike Bite? Do you know what I mean? I think it's just a bit of an excuse. I'd rather him just turn out and say, you know what, Tingle Creek's a great race, but we're scared that if we run him, he might take too long to recover. And our main aim is the champion chase. I understand people might not like that, but that's what it is. I felt like he was just trying to please everyone, and he was getting a bit frustrated when all he had to do was really be honest and just say it's all about one race for Altior this season.
Yeah, Ante, do you think this needs to be a turning point now? Do you think, and I think I said it in our group chat, should there be some sort of rule where after horse runs for so long, you gauge what ground it like? So between the measuring stick, you have the measuring stick, and whatever it is, if it's in between that, you've got to run it, unless there's a real problem, say it's scope dirty or it's lame. Should that be the case, do you think, or are owners and trainers allowed to pull horses out whenever they want?
I think obviously owners and trainers are entitled to do anything, especially owners. They pay the bills, don't they? So they're entitled to do what they want with the horses. But I think there wouldn't be a sport without owners, obviously, but there wouldn't be a sport without punters. I don't think it's very respectful to the anti-post punters out there that have been listening to Nico de Boinville, Nicky Henderson talk Altior up all week. Altior, sorry. The thing that irked me most about it was, like Henry's touched on, the welfare issue. Now, obviously, there's animal rights campaigners out there that would love to shut horse racing down tomorrow. Now, Nicky Henderson's comments just play into their hands completely. Like Henry's touched on. Why is Altior so special?
December as well. Like, soft ground is as safe as you're gonna. It's safe ground for national hunt horses, and it really winds me up. I'm just having a look now at Altior's form, and this idea that he doesn't like soft ground. It's just looking through his last 3 runs. Obviously, he was beaten by Surname 2 lengths on soft ground, but that was over 2 mile 5. On his ideal distance, 2 miles soft ground. His last few runs was obviously Champion Chase 2019, won by 2 lengths in the Champion Chase, beating Politolog. Then it was the Tingle Creek in 2018, beat Undersco, who absolutely loves soft ground, by 4 lengths, and that was soft ground. Champion Chase 2018, beat Min by 7 lengths. You just go back through his form, and arguably his best form is on soft ground. I think it was just the distance against Surname, and it was a tough race. So I personally don't think you can use that as an excuse.
In terms of the interview we did with Lydia Hislop, now I think he got a bit of an easy ride there. I don't think she presses him as much as what she normally would. So like I say, I think he got a bit of an easy time, and the way he come across to her was just appalling. I thought when he was insisting the ground was heavy. No one else on earth thought the ground was heavy at Sandown apart from Nicky Henderson. So if the clerk of the course is saying it's soft, jockeys are coming back in saying it's soft, and Nicky Henderson's telling the nation on television that it's heavy and that's why he's pulled his horse out because of welfare. It's a shambles for me. But at the end of the day, it comes back down to the argument that the owner's entitled to do exactly what he wants with his horse or her horse.
Well, Altior at the minute, 7-1 to regain his Champion Chase crown. Shakan Porswara, we've seen win at Cork, 7-2 favourites. Put the Kettle on, 8-1. Politolog, who obviously took advantage of Altior not running, 9-1. No Puck, 16-1, and it's 20-1 bar. And I'll come to you first. At this stage, would you be backing?
In terms of this one's going to be Put the Kettle on for me. I'm fascinated and I'm obsessed with course form when it comes to Cheltenham. It's won its last 3 races over course and distance. That performance last time out, it was on, I think that was heavy ground, wasn't it? To say the least. when it beat Duke de Ginevra. It showed such a good attitude that day. It looks like she's a little battler, isn't she? She just fights, and looks like she'll always get her head up. She'll always try for you. She jumps well. She'll get the weight allowance for being a mare as well, won't she, in a champion chase? Again, 1. This is a great bet for me. So yeah, I'll put the kettle on. I know Chacun Pour Soi won at the weekend, but that was a grade 2 in name only. That Hillyweight chase is a bit of an egg and spoon race for me. The biggest opposition there was Cashback, and that's got a mind of its own, hasn't it? So, like, obviously, there's form in the past that, you know, good form there, winning at the Punchestown Festival and that, but I just can't take to Chacun Pour Soi at all. And like I say, neither here nor there winning that race on Sunday. So Politolog obviously won well the weekend in the Tingle Creek. Time was slower, interestingly enough, wasn't it, than All Mankind's time in the novice chase. So yeah, to put the kettle on for me.
I actually think if they all turn up, it'll be a strong champion chase. Henry, I know you think Put the Kettle On might be going to potentially go to the mare's chase. If she doesn't go there, she's got a very good chance in this, hasn't she?
Yeah, echo what Ante said. Put the kettle on. You can't beat course form, can you, at Cheltenham? And she's won the last 3, and you can't argue with that. I think she probably would. It'd have to be soft ground. I don't think she'd want a heavy, like Ante said. I think it was a bit of a slog at Cheltenham last time, but I think she'd have to have soft ground to have any chance. Chacun Pour Soi, worthy market leader, but with, again, injury concerns, you wouldn't want to touch it at a short price at this stage. Touched on Altior, Politolog. You can't argue, can you? Defending champion, won the Tingle Creek impressively on Saturday, and I'm surprised he's still like 9-1 when you've got the likes of Granatine in 12-1, which, to be fair, Politolog gave Granatine a bit of a stuffing on Saturday. So Politolog's not my anti-post selection, but I wouldn't put anyone off at the price available. I think you could argue that he doesn't get enough credit, and he's defying his rising age with showing improvements every run, really, especially since Harry Skelton's got on board. The one I'd be happy to chance is actually one that was 3rd in the Tingle Creek, Rouge Vif. And the reason I'd put it up is you're getting a decent price now. I think you can get around 20-25-1 after Saturday. And he's a horse that just desperately needs top of the ground. Looking through his form, every time he's ran on soft, like he ran in the Arkle, obviously got beaten 20 lengths by Put the Kettle On, but soft on Saturday. But some of his runs in between, he obviously returned to Cheltenham in October this season, running off 156 and just destroyed. Obviously handicappers, but he couldn't have won any easier. Ran at Warwick in February, won. That was on good to soft ground, won by seven lengths. His last start on quicker than soft before that was back in October 2019, won by 7 lengths. I think if you get decent spring ground, so anything quicker than soft, this horse is a grade 1 animal. Anything slower than soft, you may as well press the cash out button, because you just need top of the ground, and you just have to hope with it being in March. You know, last year it was soft, but a lot of the time we do get a bit of good to soft at Cheltenham because it is spring, and it's just that time of the year, isn't it? And that's what they do target, good to soft ground. So hopefully we won't get much rain, and I think 20-1's fair at this stage. 25-1 if you can get that, just because I think you could arguably be single figures if we do get top of the ground come March. So he's the one I'd be happy to play at this stage.
Henry, Ant, anything else to add, or should we move on?
Just on Rouge Vif, I was surprised it run on Saturday, to be fair.
Yeah, same. I think the reason he'd run it is because Harry Whittington has a different mindset to Nicky Anderson. Obviously, he's not as big as Nicky Anderson, which probably influenced it, but he was thinking, you know what, this is a good chance to win a grade 1. Although it's not ideal conditions, the field's not as strong as we expected. and obviously it was beaten there. But I think he'll have a nice break now and return to some nice ground. And I just think it's a cracking horse on decent ground. So yeah.
I was going to say it's going to need the break after that, isn't it? Because it's right on ground that's unsuitable. That must have knocked the stuffing out of him to be on Saturday. So he's going to need a good break. It wouldn't surprise me. Do you reckon he'll go straight to Cheltenham now, Henry? Or
potentially, probably see how he comes out of it. He might try and sneak one more run in because just looking at his campaign last season, he ran a day after Boxing Day. He's not going to run anywhere over Christmas after running the Tingle Creek, but he did get out in February, so I don't know if he might look at maybe a race back into January. But there isn't much, is there?
There's not much out there, to be honest, for him now. So he's going to need good. You wouldn't want him running on soft again, would you, before the festival, though? And that's
exactly.
You'd
rather him going fresh, because he obviously went into the race in October at Cheltenham fresh and won that well. So I don't think fitness would ever be a concern. So I'd be happy if he put him away till then, keep him nice and fresh, keep him away from all this winter grounds, because you've got the Clarence House, haven't you? That's towards the back end of January, over 2 miles at Ascot, but you're likely going to get pretty deep ground at that time of year, so you might avoid that. But if that comes up like good to soft, you may go there prior to going to Cheltenham. Just wait and see, but I wouldn't be put off either way.
Yeah, if Mr. Whitson comes out and says he's going to keep him fresh for Cheltenham, 20-1 now, I'll be all over that each way. Definitely.
2 good shouts for Rouge Vif then in the champion chase. We'll go on to the Thursday then, lads, and the feature is the Stayers Hurdle. And I mean, if the champion chase is wide open, then so's this as well. Time Hill, current 5-1 favourite. Paisley Park, 11-2. Can he regain his crown? Sire de Burley, 7-1. Benny de Dew, 10-1. Fury Road, 12-1 and 20-1. Bar, and one of those at 20-1, Ant, is Roxana, who I've got a little inkling is your selection.
It's my selection from this side of the Irish Sea, yeah, 100%. Had a poor season last year, to be fair, Roxana, and I'm not going to sort of read too much into that. Stepped up and slipped from 2 mile forward and 2 mile free, what it was running over last season, to 3 miles at Wetherby. Absolutely hacked up, beating the Stayers Hurdle winner, Lisnagar Oscar. So it's going to get the mayor's allowance to get in the Stayers Hurdle. Now, obviously, I know I put in our WhatsApp group the other day, didn't I, that I fancied Roxana each way, and as per usual, Henry disagreed with me. But when you think about it, Benny Zoo and was a honeysuckle in the mares last year. They were in the market for the Stayers to be right at the top of the market. To be up there for favouritism.
Benny's 10s at the minute for favourites.
But he's only that odds, isn't he? Because he's not going to be going there. She's going to be going the mares. Sorry. So for me, with the mares allowance, I'm all over Roxana each way. My other one would be Ronald Pump. I think it represents the best Irish form for me, over Fury Road and Sides of Burley. Horse didn't have the ideal prep last season, to be honest. It ran 3 times in chases and then had a spin over hurdles before going to the Stayers Hurdle. I think it would have finished a lot closer to Lisnagar Oscar as well, but he sort of clattered the last coming up the hill. So I think it would have got a lot closer there. And it started off this season with a fall in the Lismullen Hurdle. It was a crashing fall, that as well. It went through the rails with the jockey, but I am willing to forgive that, to be fair. It did bounce back with that excellent second in the Hatton's Grace. And I think it probably would have won that extra 50 yards. It was probably going to get its head up. It was staying on well through the line. So 16-1. If it was trained by a De Bromheads, a Mullins or an Elliott, I think it would be half that price. So for me, Ronald Pump. I put Ronald Pump up to win, and I put Roxana each way. I can't see Paisley Park overturning the form at Time Hill. I think both of them will come on for the run at Newbury, but Time Hill's the younger, fresher horse. I think that'll come on more than Paisley Park. So I can't see that form getting overturned. So like I say, Ronald Pump and Roxana for me.
Henry, I'm sure if you made them, you'd have the purple and green silks of Time Hill as a scarf, like the Rich Ricky ones, wouldn't you? You love this horse, don't you?
Yeah, he's a cracker. He's got a little place in my heart. I don't know what it is. It's just something about it's how it ran last season. I was very impressed with it going into the Albert Bartlett. I thought he'd go on and win that, to be honest. Bit unlucky in running, obviously finishing fourth, but we know how well that race is working out this season. And he obviously went in and won on his seasonal debut at Newbury, beating Paisley Park. At this stage, you can't argue with them two being at the front of the market, Time Hill and Paisley Park. I think you've got it just right with Time Hill slightly favourites, just with them being a bit younger, a bit more up and coming. It's hard for these horses to regain a Stayers hurdle. What normally once they've been beaten in it, they continue to get beat. From an anti-post perspective, though, as much as I love Time Hill, I wouldn't be advising a bet on him at this stage. He's around the 9 to 2, 5 to 1 mark, and I think the price is gone. I did touch on him on one of the earlier podcasts when he was a bigger price, so hopefully a few listeners got on there. In terms of the others, I think the two Elliott chargers are going to be serious dangers in this. You've got Fury Road, who obviously finished ahead of Time Hill and the Albert Bartlett. Can't separate them by much because the front four were way clear and a lot. Like, there's certainly horses to take out. Like I said, I think Monkfish will win the RSA. And then you've got the likes of Time Hill, Fury Roads, latest exhibition. So, in regards to Fury Roads, obviously returns, won and nothing race really, went off 4 to 11, won easy on his seasonal debut, just showing that he looks like he has trained on. And from an anti-post perspective, there's not going to be much between Time Hill and Fury Roads, is there? And you're getting 12 to 1 for Fury Roads, where you're only getting half of that at best for Time Hill. So Fury Roads certainly one that I'd recommend getting on now, because I think he will shorten over Christmas. Side the Ballet is another one. He was impressive on his comeback run over 2.5. I think Darren, who we had on last week, touched on he couldn't pull him up after the line. He looked in really good shape when he won that contest. And course and distance form, he's obviously won the Potemps the last 2 years. Won it last year off 11 stone 12 in a race that's just full of plot horses. So to go and win that off a mark of 152 just shows that he should be up to this level. Like I said, if he's trained for the Stayers hurdle, which he's going to be now after winning on his debut, he's another one bound to go close. So if you can get around 8-9 to 1 for that, by all means, I wouldn't put anyone off backing both Elliott horses, because I think they'll both be in the frame come March. One final thing I'll touch on is a lot of people I know, one of our other tipsters, Paul's quite keen on Ronald Pump, which I can't see the argument for, but just in regards to the Hatton's Grace, where he finished second to Honeysuckle, staying on strongly, that race it's got a dire record in the Stayers hurdle horses that have ran in that. I think it's been like 3 champion hurdle winners in the last 10 years. I think there hasn't been a single placed horse from that contest that's gone on to go and like place in a Stayers hurdle. Sorry, a horse that's ran in the Hatton's Grace. So although it is 2.5 miles, I think a lot of the time it's steadily running. It turns into a speed test. So although it comes second last year, I think Ronald Pump's had his chance where Paisley Park disappointed. I think this is going to be a stronger lineup. So that's not one that would be on my shortlist. It'd just be the 2 Elliott ones from anti-post perspective, side of Berlin Fury Road. But like you said, I do like Time Hill too.
Henry's back and Gordon Elliott to win a first Stayers hurdle. Anton, Ronald Pump and Roxana. We'll go on to the Friday, lads, and the blue ribbon event of the 4-day meeting is the Cheltenham Hall Cup. And no surprise that Alboon Photo, who's won the race for the past 2 years, is the 6 to 1 favourite at the minute. Milella Indo 8 to 1, Santini 9 to 1, Champ 12-1, Presenting Percy 16-1, Lost in Translation 16-1, Surname 16-1, and 25-1. But Henry, album photo, is he good enough to win a third Gold Cup? I mean, that'll put him in the pantheon of greats, won't it, if he can do that?
Yeah, definitely. You know you're going to get a run for your money if you do your back album photo. He's going to have the exact same prep he's had for the last 2 years. He'll go to Tramore on New Year's Day, win there, and then go straight to Cheltenham. 6-1, you can't really argue with the price, can you? One of the last 2 years. It's a fair price for me. I do think this will be the deepest Gold Cup he'll have run in, and obviously there looks like there could be a few improvers in there. So again, from an anti-post perspective, I wouldn't be wanting to back the favourite. Horse I do love Manila Indu. I think this is the most likely winner of the Gold Cup next year. I was just really impressed. Obviously won the Albert Bartlett, so Cheltenham Festival form's there. Yeah, I thought he had quite a bit of a strange campaign last season. I don't think he had enough experience going into that RSA. That just a couple of blunders late on may have told. He come second to Arena, didn't he, over a trip short of his optimum in November, and then he only had one run between then and the RSA. And I just think De Bruyne probably wishes he maybe got one more run into him. I think he was the best horse. He just clattered the last in the RSA, and Champ just come from nowhere, didn't he? I think in a truly run Gold Cup, I think Champ will be beaten a long way out, to be honest. I don't think he'll get away with the novice mistakes he made. So he'll have done plenty of schooling over the summer, but I just don't think it'll be enough in an open Group 1. Manila Indu's returned, won a couple of races already. I think De Bruyne's learned from last year, wants to get a bit more experience into Manila Indu. Won by 25 lengths first time out of Wexford, and then a couple of weeks ago he beat Brahma Bull by 8 lengths. So he definitely looks a key contender. The other one I will put up, and it's probably a bit of a shock, but I think Surname's worth a go in this from an anti-post perspective. I think if it wins the King George, which it's going to be my selection, I think he will be tempted to have a go, because he'll have defied a lot, won't he? Everyone was writing him off at Wetherby in terms of he won't stay 3 miles soft ground, and he won ease down really. Cobden didn't have to move. He jumped so well. He just seemed to settle, jump straight. All the niggling doubts people have had with Surname over the last couple of years, he just seemed to put that right. I don't know if he's maybe maturing with age, and like I said, I think he'll go on win the King George. I think he'll turn that form around with Clanders about. And I think Nichols will get a little bit excited in his interview after he wins and say they're going for the Gold Cup now, especially with Clan obviously going to Aintree or Punchestown. And I don't see why you can't win round Cheltenham. Like, he's obviously proved at Wetherby he can go that way round, and he's never ran there, so why not chance it? If he's in the form of his life, you're getting a decent price. I'd be happy to give him a go at 16-20-1. Why not?
Do you think Nichols is a bit scarred by the likes of Silviaco Conti, who clearly didn't handle the track? Do you think he has that on his minds when he's going to run Surname maybe in the Gold Cup or not?
Yeah, definitely, but I don't see why he wouldn't give it a go first with the likes of Silviaco Conti. He ran a couple of Gold Cups before he come to that conclusion. He was adamant at first it was just an off day, and same with Clanders about. Surname's never ran at Cheltenham, so I think if he goes, he obviously won the Charlie Hall very impressively going that way round, which was one of the main concerns about Cheltenham, that he just couldn't go left-handed. So he's put that right. If he goes and win a King George, I think he's going to be tempted to chance the Gold Cup. And like I said, I just think the horse is maturing with age. I think the issues that connections were worried about, they're slowly getting ticked off, and I'd be happy to chance Surname at the prices that you get. And then you may, with the likes of Bet365, you do get the options to cash out on anti-post bets, and you might be able to keep in the know a little bit with the Al News stories. And if if they start playing it down in terms of he may not be going Gold Cup, I'm sure he'll be okay to press the "I'll cash out" button for your stake back. So I think, yeah, that they're the two I've already backed Manila into at the start of the season, but I think I'll add Surname to the list before the King George, because, like I said, if he wins that, which I expect him to, and then Nichols talks up the Gold Cup in excitement, he'll be a single-figure price.
And I know Alboon Photo was one of your bets of the festival last season, but surely it can't be any more. This looks like it's going to be a far deeper Gold Cup this time around.
No, I think it's hard to oppose, in my opinion. Still Alboon Photo 4-1 now, 2-time Cheltenham Gold Cup winner. For me, I'm all over it. A 4s.
6-1 with Hills here.
6-1, yeah. Like Henry said, we know it's going to go to Tremor on New Year's Day. It's going to win there. Then it's going to go straight to Cheltenham. I'm finding it difficult to put anything up to oppose it. I couldn't disagree more about Surname. I think the helter-skelter of a Gold Cup just won't suit it at all. The extra 2.5 furlongs as well. That'll be a concern.
At the price, I wouldn't be tipping Surname on the day, but from an anti-post perspective, I just think it's definitely on the big side, because I think a lot of the horses, although it isn't going to be a great Gold Cup, I've got my doubts about Champ. I don't know what you think about the RSA, Ant, but I love Manila Endu from that race. But then you've got Santini, already beaten in the Gold Cup, lost in translation. We don't know where he's at. Presenting Percy, probably more of a Grand National horse. And then you've got Imperial Order, not going to go. So I just think I'd say a name you're getting 16-20-1. Wouldn't you be happy to chance that now?
Not for me, no. I don't want double.
Will you offer me double?
We'll have this discussion when we're not recording, potentially.
As long as it's before the King George.
Yeah.
No, not for me, Surname. I think it's not for me at all. I can't give you much on this one, to be honest with you. I can't really oppose Alboon Photo. Santini's slow as an old boat, and he'll be staying on a deal. You can't really judge him on Saturday's performance, I don't think, because he missed half the fences out in the race due to low sun. Throws on won't be winning a Gold Cup. Not a chance. No, it's just Alboon Photo for me. Apologies, I can't give you.
Master Tommy Tucker's worth a mention just in case he goes.
Yeah, that's going on Saturday, isn't it, in the Casper Caviar?
Yeah, he'll be carrying top weight there, and I think if he can defy top weight and win a top handicap at Cheltenham like that, he has to come into the reckoning for the Gold Cup, doesn't he? Because you can't stay in handicap company, put it that way, because his mark will be way too high. So I think Saturday's going to be the making of Master Tommy Tucker. If the jumping issues that he did have a couple of starts ago continue to disappear, and he jumps well, and obviously goes on to win a deep handicap with plenty of runners like that, that'll be the making of him. Of course, he could bomb out in the jump and could completely go to bits, but that's another one. That's a huge price at the moment, isn't he? And it might be worth having a little go on him just prior to Saturday, because if he does win, he
couldn't trust his jumping at Cheltenham, and he couldn't.
Well, we'll find that out Saturday, won't we? Because that's what I mean, handicap round Cheltenham, but I don't know. Last two runs, it just seems like a different horse. He's jumped well from the front, won well, and he may need his own way in front. That's the only issue. But again, from an anti-post perspective, you're looking at the big price ones, aren't you? And he's definitely got a bit of class. He's definitely Group 1 class if he can get his head together. So if they're going to go this year, because he's 10 now.
Henry, are you sponsored by Unicorn by any chance? You going darts and anything? No, that's right.
That's what anti-post betting's all about.
It is
indeed. You want to look for a bit of value. I mean, we can all say Epatant's going to win, but listeners aren't going to get anything out of that, are they? So hopefully we can get a nice few places maybe, and maybe one of the outsiders can win. So
I agree.
Plenty of decent prices for people to get stuck into.
I agree. Some compelling arguments made by both you lads this evening. Right, if I was
Can
to
we
give
have one from you, Will, just from the World Championship races?
from the
You tipped up all mankind on the weekend, didn't you? So
I did.
I'm sure listeners will be
As I
eager
said
to hear
earlier,
what
I'd probably looking at, as I said, if I was going to have a bet now, someone said to me, right, here's a tenner, what do you have it on? I'd probably put it on Goshen, to be honest with you, just because if it wins on Saturday, which it might do, it's going to contract at half the price. So if I could have a bet right now, Goshen. If it was after Saturday and it got turned over, probably looking at Politolog each way. I think you're getting some money, aren't you, for Politolog to go out in front 9-1, a bit of money back, a little bit of popping the pot up. I'll have that. But I'm going to give you lads, if I give you lads £10 right now for one horse that we've discussed today, what would it be on either on the nose or each way? Ant?
I go for Ronald Pump.
Who's that? Sorry, I just missed that.
Ronald Pump to win the stakes.
Ronald Pump, sorry. And Henry, for you?
On the nose, Miller Indu in the Gold Cup for me.
If you are going to have a bet, make sure you gamble responsibly and you are 18 plus. Thanks very much, lads, for the Cheltenham preview, the champion race. I'm sure there'll be a couple more coming up. We'll be previewing it, novice chasers, novice hurdlers over due course, and we'll be back later this week. So join us next time